You know, I don't ever.
We're live.
We're live. We're
We're live.
live. We're a little late.
We are late. We are late.
We gotta do
It's
better about
Monday.
it.
Sometimes Mondays just don't go the way you want them to go.
They,
You
they
know,
don't. They don't. They don't. But
what can you do? What can you
it's
do?
got to make up for it. Just keep it. Just keep it moving. Just keep it moving.
That's it. You got to just keep it moving because if not, then the rest of the weekend's up behind. So you just got to catch up and keep it moving.
That's it. That's
Uh,
it. All right. Well, we got an interesting topic. You know what? I think we're going to try to make sure that we don't go to 30 minutes today. Right? Is that a good goal? Try to
yes.
keep it short and sweet, condense, and
Yes.
give people some good value, some good information. Get in
Get
and
in,
out
get
like Robert.
out. Get in and get out. I like it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, would you like me to go ahead and introduce today's topic?
Sure. Please do.
All right. So the topic for today, and actually, what did we title this today's topic? What did we title?
So the title of the topic is King Akkad. Oh no. Who is King Akkad?
Yeah, who was King Akkad?
Yeah,
Exactly.
who
Who is
was
King?
King Akkad? And then we talked
Absolutely.
about how in the description King Akkad was the richest man in Babylon. And then we talked about
Exactly.
he shares
So
his secrets, the secret
exactly.
sauce, the secret
Exactly.
sauce.
So
Yeah.
there is a so we'll go ahead and jump into the story. So for those of you who have not heard of the book that's called The Richest Man in Babylon, it's a classic book. It was written in 1926, and it was written by a guy by the name of George Samuel Clayson. Classon, maybe
Hmm.
hopefully I'm not messing up his last name. But it's a book of fables, and basically it's a book of 4,000 fables that tells the story of the riches of Babylon. And basically, as the story goes, as he starts off, he says that the king of Babylon asked his royal chancellor why so few many men in Babylon had not acquired all of the gold in Babylon. Like there was the gold of Babylon was only in the hands of a few,
Of a
but not
few.
in the hands of many.
How do we get it? How do we get the gold?
Yeah, how do we get the gold, right?
Yeah.
So the chancellor basically said, well, those who understand how to acquire riches have been able to acquire it, and we can't punish them for being successful, right? So the king then says, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to summon the richest man in Babylon, who was Akkad, and he said, I'm going to have Akkad, who's the richest man in Babylon, teach 100 people on how to become wealthy and to see if by teaching these 100 people how to become wealthy, they would then be able to amass some of the gold, the wealth of Babylon. And so then Akkad came up with seven principles, basically, which they called at that time seven cures for a lean purse. So basically, it's funny that they call it a lean purse, Sterling, because right now everybody's talking about acquire the bag, make sure you have the bag, keep the bag. So it kind of leans back to the purse.
Right. Secure
1926.
the bag. Yeah.
Secure the bag. So we're all trying to secure the
Mhm.
bag. So in this case, Akkad is trying to teach everyone on how to secure the purse. And he has seven principles or seven cures that he lives by. And so we just kind of wanted to go through those because we liked the book. We thought the concept was very interesting, being that it's almost 100 years old now, and it's still relevant. Some of these same concepts, although very simplistic, the concepts are still relative today. What do you think, Stu?
Yeah, they are. They're really relative, and it's amazing that something that came out 100 years ago or more, I think it was BC, it's still relevant today. And Tony Robbins is a big fan of this book. He actually recommends it in some of his consulting at big conferences and that kind of thing about the secrets to wealth. So we're going to jump right into it and get started before the day gets too crazy on us. So let's go into and just hello to Misty. Misty
Yeah,
Don, we see you in place. Thanks for saying hi. And for everyone else that's online, if you don't mind, just drop us a note, say hello, and tell us what you're doing today. We
where
love
you at?
to give you a shout out. Okay,
Absolutely.
so here we go. First one, Stephen.
So the first one is start thy purse to fattening. I love that. Start that purse to fattening. So this principle is very simplistic. from the standpoint that the concept here is that essentially you want to save your money first, right? And one of the things that they referred back to in the book is they said that every person should save 1 coin to every 10 coins that they earn. And so we think about that now, and you think about tithing, right? When we talk about tithing in churches, always save 10% and give it to the church, but also save 10% for yourself. So they said to save 1 coin for every 10 coin that you earn, or basically save your money first. And so, interesting thing that concept that you came up with, or that you discovered and you practice all the time, is the profit first model. How did you want to talk a little bit about how the profit first model kind of ties into pay yourself first as well?
Yeah. So Profit First is one of those great business success books. If you haven't picked it up, definitely would highly recommend it. Basically, in a nutshell, and I think the guy's name is Malkowicz or something, a really complicated name. But anyway, basically what he's saying is that what you want to do is you want to pay yourself first before you pay anything else. You take your 10% and you put it into a completely separate account, and that money is going to be taken out regardless. And then you figure out how to run your business. You figure out how to control your expenses. You figure out how to pay your wages with that 90% that's left over. But by doing that, it forces you to look at things a little bit differently. You're always going to be profitable because you always take your 10% out first, which is really kind of ingenious, and it's a completely different reverse. It's like reverse thinking. Is typically we try to do as much as we can so we can have some net profit in the end. But no, we want to put profit away first. We want to put that money in the bank, in the savings account first. So that's what that's all about.
Love it. And that's something that you exercise, obviously, in your personal life and your business life as well. So shout out to Richard Thomas that jumped in. Shout out to the LU contingent. We love you guys.
Good deal. So number 2, control thy expenditures. So really simple concept, right? So when we talk about the simplicity of growing rich and making money, you can't, if you're spending every single dollar that you have, as soon as it comes in, you spend it, then you're not going to amass wealth. The only way you amass wealth is if you save and if you're putting that money away. So really, really simple concept. You have to watch your expenses. You can't spend everything that you get. You really want to live. And I think what we talked about in one of our previous podcasts is about 60% of your income is what you want to live off of, and the rest of it you should be using for saving, investing, and that sort of thing. Right, Stephen?
That's right. And one of the concepts that the book mentions is that one person's needs is another person's desires, which is an interesting concept. And they also talk about the fact that as your income increases, so do your needs. They tend to increase with your income. So when you were making $50,000 a year, which is a great income, and you were living in a 2,000 square foot home, when you're making $500,000 a year, and that 2,000 square foot home was a necessity at that point. But all of a sudden, when you make $500,000 a year, now your need is for a 10,000 square foot home, or whatever the case may be. And that the need that equates to the income is only a psychological need, right? It's not a real need. The number of people that you have in your household, et cetera, hasn't changed. So why do you now need a bigger house? So trying to make sure that your needs and your desires stay in line, not depicting upon how much you make.
Good stuff. A couple of shout outs to see Sean Gutierrez on here. Thanks, Sean, for shouting out to us. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. What's up, Sean?
We're going to move on. I know we promised you guys a short one, and we're only on number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and push through. Here's number 3, Stephen.
Make thy gold multiply. So this is the whole concept of just basically saying you got to make your money work for you. I have a friend of mine actually my trainer, the physical trainer that they're training with, he has another client who's heavily into investments, doing really well in the stock market. And basically, he made the point of just saying, all you have to do is give me one. If you attain enough mass, if you get $1 million in cash available, give that $1 million to me, and I'll show you how to make $150,000 to $250,000 annually off of that $1 million. So basically, making your money multiply. And basically said, if I show you how to do this, you basically will be able to live off of the interest or the returns on your money and never have to touch that $1 million. You just live off of the interest and the money. So basically, concept is just being smart and making your money work for you. We like to call that concept making money while you're asleep, right?
That's right. That's right. You gotta make it while you sleep. Yeah, make it while you sleep. Good thing. I mean, that's really at the end of the day, it's all about just making it multiply, figuring out how we can how we can make our money work for us. So spot on, Steve. Spot on. And number 4, guard thy treasures from loss. I think one of the biggest things, I think one of our lessons learned, Steve, and we won't go into details, but
I'm the same page you're on, sir. I would love to go into detail. I guess we should.
We have, we've made a lot of mistakes. We've had a lot of wins, but there was one mistake we made by deciding to invest in a business based on someone that we knew personally, and we thought that we could trust, and we thought that they had a proven model that seemed to be reproducible, I guess the word is. Anyway, long story short, we didn't do the due diligence. I remember what happened, Steve. I think we took the contract, the investor agreement to our attorney, and he just said, you know what, I really don't think you guys should do this.
Yeah.
We were so excited about the potential, and we thought that we could trust this guy, and we invested in it anyway. And so that was one of the hard lessons for us. I think we decided after that we were no longer going to invest in anybody else. We were going to invest in ourselves. Right, Steve?
That's absolutely true. And so Sterling brought up one point of it, of the guard your treasures from loss. So one part is that you have to look at the character of the people that you invest in. So that's definitely really important. But you also have to make sure that the person that you invest in has a knowledge of the business and understands what kind of business that you're investing into, right? If somebody comes to you and has this great idea about opening up a restaurant, but they're not a chef, they've never worked at a restaurant before, but they just think they got this great idea, it's probably not the right person to invest in. And along with that is making sure that person's character, because obviously you're not going to be there in the business every day, so you can't guard every dollar, dime, nickel that goes through the business. You're depending on them to tell you whether or not the company is making money or not. So it's really important to have someone there that you can trust.
So true. So true. Okay. Lesson number 5. Is it on me or you, Steve? I think
I'll take it, no problem. Yeah. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. So, again, we spoke on this in one of our other podcasts. And Sterling spoke on this. He's passionate about real estate. I mean, real estate is by far one of the highest revenue generating income vehicles for millionaires across North America, across the world, right? Real estate has to be a part of your investment portfolio. And that means that you should be owning instead of renting. The concept of owning instead of renting means that your asset is appreciating and you're gaining value in that asset as opposed to a depreciating asset. If you're renting, you're basically throwing away money. That's not to say that everybody that's renting should run out and jump and buy a house right now. Of course, you got to save and get your credit right and do all of those things. But when you can, invest in an appreciating asset and try to go from there. So, and I remember listening to Jay-Z, who's a big fan of Jay-Z. What can I say? That's my era, right? And he talks about giving free game out, and several of his lyrics talks about it. But one of them was that he invested in a painting, right? So paintings have value too. He invested in a painting now that is worth X times what it was worth. And if he had known better, he would have bought more investment. That's really anything to add.
Spot on, spot on. I can barely hear. There's someone out there cutting,
Yeah.
doing
Yes.
some landscaping outside. I'm like, I can barely even hear what myself think. Okay, so moving on. Great points, Steve. Great points, and I agree with you. You know, I feel like real estate is king, and we need to invest in real estate first. That's the first step to wealth, to building wealth. Okay, so the next one is ensure a future income. So as we
Right.
start talking about growing businesses, making money, all that kind of good stuff, we have to make sure that we are ready. We almost always want to think about an exit strategy as you're going into anything that you're thinking about. You want to make sure you have some money on the back, money set up for later, maybe an arrangement or a situation that is going to keep you with income coming in, just in case the situation that you're in doesn't work for you. So you want to ensure that future income. And so I think, um, investing in your retirement, investing in your 401k, investing in stocks, because 30 years from now you'll be able to pull that money out, and that will be your retirement portfolio that will allow you the income that you need. So very, very spot on. And just want to send a shout out to State Representative Ron Reynolds, who's on the line. Just want to say hello. He's doing so much for our community, and we truly appreciate what you do each and every day. So thanks for jumping on, Ron. We appreciate you. And just thanks Nikki Cooper and Tarsha Johnson, Sean Taylor, Sonia Westmoreland, John Caldwell, DJ B Love, Richard Thomas, and many more that are on with us. So I just want to say hello to you guys. But Steve, continuing on, did you want to say anything else about ensure future income?
Yeah, Sterling. One last thing that I wanted to implore upon everyone, especially those that are in our area, if you will. We talked about that earlier. Is that invest, as Sterling already mentioned. But additionally, you need to have a life insurance plan, a good, strong life insurance plan. And I think that for years, our community has felt like life insurance is just a gimmick, and there's no value in it. And to be honest, we have been taken advantage of in our community because of not knowing the ins and outs of life insurance. So I've heard of Big Mama and Big Papa who pay years and years and years into an insurance plan only to be denied that insurance coverage when unfortunately they pass away because of some small little inkling of a misspelled word or I not dotted, T not crossed. That being said, being educated about life insurance so that if you pass away, you have $1 million policy, a $2 million policy, whatever the case may be, you're now setting up the next generation for success.
Good points. Good points. Okay, and our last lesson of the day: increase thy ability to earn. Increase thy ability to earn, and we're really, really big on this because, and it's one of the reasons why we do Motivational Mondays, because if you want to earn more money, you need to learn. It's all about learning more. It's all about improving your skill set. It's all about figuring out a way to amass more money and amass more wealth, and we do that by building our minds and figuring out how to work smarter, not harder. And so increasing that ability to earn is really just working on your skill set, working on your craft, becoming a master of what you love. So that to me, that's it in a nutshell. Steve, anything else you wanted to add on that?
Absolutely. I mean, today, in today's times, technology is changing so frequently. Things are moving at such a rapid pace. You have to continuously be learning, trying to create for yourself a new skill set, a new asset personally that you can provide. Because again, your personal assets will equal your income. So the more valuable you are to your employer, to your company, the more income that you can generate. So you have to continue to learn, and never stop learning. And there's so many vehicles to do that now with the internet and podcasts and YouTube and blah, 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 blah. There's just like no excuses. In fact, I was online just a little bit earlier and I saw a link about Harvard University now has free online courses that you can take. And there are a number of universities, such as Harvard, that are just offering out a lot of pro bono free items just to kind of give back. And you wouldn't know, but definitely Harvard University has some free classes. There are other universities that have free classes. You can take them online in your leisure. Just continue to improve and get better.
Agree. There's so much free content out there, free valuable lessons. And Stephen, you mentioned YouTube. That's a really, really big one because you can literally just go on to YouTube and learn almost anything. It's just right there. I mean, of course, Google, you can Google anything. It's going to pull up almost any answer that you need, and with and a variety of different ways to fix whatever problem that you have. So take advantage of this world and this technology where information is just right there on at your fingertips. So excellent, Steve. What do you think about our discussion today as we come to a close? You want to take us home?
Yeah, so I mean, just want to let you guys know that we continue to want to share information that we come across. We definitely are still learning and applying a lot of these same principles that you guys are seeing and reading. We're learning and applying them ourselves, but we all just want to get better and learn and improve. And so let's all elevate together, right, sir?
That's all about elevation. Let's elevate. So until next week, guys, make it a great week. We hope you found some things to motivate you a little bit, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Peace.